Hi, I am currently studying for a test that I have tomorrow, but I feel like I should update you on what I'm currently reading. So right now I'm reading Tender Beast by Lisel Sambury, right? I read Delicious Monsters by Lisel Sambury and I liked it. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars, right? So obviously I liked it. I also read Blood Like Magic by Lisel Sambury and I gave that 4 stars as well. I have Blood Like Fate on my list. So I think it was the publisher who emailed asking if I wanted the art from Netgalley, and I'm like, obviously, because 2 books I gave 4 stars. Damn. And then finally I got it last year. Tender Beast came out yesterday as of recording. It's February 28th, so it came out February 27th. And I'm currently about 30% of the way through. And girl, I'm not liking it. I'm so disappointed. Not only am I disappointed, but I'm so frustrated because we're only in February. My birthday month, right? And I'm not having a great reading year. I've completed 5 books since the year has started, right? Give Me a Sign, which I talked about in part 1, I gave 4.5 stars. Threads That Bind, which I also talked about in part 1, 5 stars. Spirit Based Seas, 4.5 stars, talked about in part 1. And then I DNF'd 2 books in that blog, right? Since then, I've completed A Bright Heart by Kate Chenley, which I gave 3 stars. I'll come back and give you a review later. But I wanted to DNF that book, but I pushed through and I ended up giving it 3 stars. It was a low 3 star, but it was a 3 star. Then I DNF'd Boys I Know by Anna Gracia, or Gracia. I'm gonna come back to you with that. And then I read Love and Other Wicked Things, which I gave 4.5 stars. Which is good. So I'm gonna come back to you with a review. But February, and 3 DNFs already, and 1 barely 3 star. I don't know. That don't seem good. That doesn't seem good. And then Tender Beast is not looking like it's going well. But anyway, let me give you the synopsis and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking so far. So it says Sonny Bear has 4 siblings, but only one is a murderer. With the death of Sonny's mother, matriarch of the wealthy Bear family, Sonny's once picture-perfect life is thrown into turmoil. Her mother had groomed her to be the family's next leader, so Sonny is confused when the only instruction her mother leaves her is a mysterious note: take care of Dom. The problem is, her youngest brother Dom has always been a near stranger to Sonny, and a seemingly dangerous one if found guilty of a second-degree murder charge. Still, Sonny is determined to fulfill her mother's dying wish, but when a classmate is gruesomely murdered and Sonny finds her brother with blood on his hands, her mother's simple request becomes a lot more complicated. Dom swears he's innocent, and although Sonny isn't sure she believes him, she takes it upon herself to look into the murder, made all more urgent by the discovery of another body, and another. As Sonny and Dom work together to track down the culprit, Sonny realizes her siblings have their own dark secrets. Soon she may have to choose: preserve the family she's always loved or protect the brother she barely knows, and risk losing everything her mother worked so hard to build. So we're following Sonny, obviously, like we're in her point of view. And Sonny is so annoying, so insufferable. I feel like it would have been okay. It was in 3rd person. I would have been okay with it. Because like, unlikable characters are a thing. But like with unlikable characters, you have to have something else motivating you. Either you're interested in like them as a character even though they're unlikable but they're intriguing, or you're interested in the story or something else. I don't care about what's going on in the story. I don't care for Sonny. I don't care about Sonny. I don't care, like, so far I don't care about Dom. I feel like I could care about him, but I don't care about him right now. I don't care about what happens. So why am I pushing myself to read this? I don't know. So as I'm saying, I don't like Sonny. Also, like, the way how the family dynamic is written, like the Bear family, with like, we get introduced to the siblings and we learn that from they were like infants, the mother has basically like groom them. The siblings are all close except Dom, right? And as an older sister, as a sibling, I don't understand how that works. Like, you don't, like, you love your siblings, right? And I understand you don't have to like your siblings, but you have to have some kind of interaction with them. And even if, like, you're saying you're a rival with your sibling or whatever, whatever, you still are, like, even if you dislike your sibling, you still do stuff because they're your siblings, right? Based on what's happening in this book, they don't interact with this youth at all, and they exclude him, like, out, like, they make it so obvious how often they exclude him, or like when they're excluding him. I'm like, how does that work? And it's like obvious that the mother was the one who instigated it, but it makes no sense to me. I don't understand how one does that. Like, it doesn't seem realistic. I don't know what they're trying. I don't know what Lisa Samper is trying to do, but girl, it's not working. It don't feel. It's stupid to me, right? And then Sunny, like, her entire everything she talks about is talking about how she's like a people pleaser, and how she has to, like, have this characters that, like, she has to make herself into this character that makes everybody feel good, and da 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 da. And like, this girl don't realize nobody likes her, and I'm seeing it. So now I'm pissed off because I have to read her talking about how she does such and such and such, so people like her. But then I'm watching all the interactions where nobody likes her and she does not pick up on it. And I'm like, girl, please, like, use your brain or get off my screen. And then the mystery surrounding the murders, like, Lisa Samber is writing it to, like, build intrigue, but I don't know if it's because I don't care about Sunny or what, but I am not intrigued. I'm bored. And girl, I don't care about her dead mother. I don't care about who killed such and such. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about her sibling secrets. I'm so disappointed. I DNF'd Tender Beast. I got to school and I started the next chapter and I decided I wasn't doing that shit. There was nothing new in the new chapter, so the reason I DNF'd it was the reasons I gave in this clip for why I wasn't liking it. So that's all for Tender Beast. Okay, as you can see in this clip, I'm playing Minecraft. So this version of Minecraft that I'm playing, I'm using the Fairy Core mod pack created by Lovestar. I discovered their channel and their Fairy Core series in the beginning of January. And I kind of just fell in love with their series and with the mod pack itself. And they uploaded the mod pack on CurseForge. So I downloaded it, and that's mostly how I've been playing Minecraft. So the book I'm going to be talking about is A Bright Heart by Kate Chenley. This book was one of the books that I saw on Edelweiss, and I fell in love with the book mostly because of the cover art. And it was something that I noticed that I have been interested in Chinese inspired fantasy, mostly because of the cover art. Like, there was a distinct art style that I was seeing in covers, and I was so drawn to it that I would click on the book and I would want to read it so much before even knowing about the synopsis. But I found that most of the books that I was interested in, the cover was designed by Xia Hong. So I love their art style. Unfortunately, the love for the cover doesn't always translate into a love for the book, which was kind of the case in A Bright Heart by Kate Chenley. So I gave this book 3 stars. While I didn't outright dislike the book, by the end of my reading experience, I was disappointed reading it. In fact, I almost DNF'd it after a few chapters, like the first few chapters. That's a lie. The first few pages. In the first chapter, I almost DNF'd the book. But I was reading this book after coming off from 2 DNFs. So I was like, I can't DNF another book this month, so I needed to finish it, or at least give it a couple more chapters to intrigue me. And I guess it turned out well because I gave it a 3 star. It was a low 3 star, but it was still a 3 star. The writing style was the book's biggest downfall. It felt very amateurish and somewhat awkward to read. And I think this is the second book whose writing I'm describing as amateurish. So I don't know what is going on, but it wasn't that great. I liked Mingxin for the most part. She's the main character. She made smart decisions and didn't annoy me. Eventually, I started rooting for the romance between Mingxin and Jie, and I liked all the friendships. The pacing of the story was fine, but the world building could have used a little more work. So the synopsis says Mingxin outsmarted 3 princes to help the man she loved become king, but she doesn't see Ren's betrayal coming, not until she's lying in a pool of her own blood on the palace steps. As she's dying, Mingqing makes a desperate plea to the gods to turn back time and give her a chance to make things right. Mingxin wakes up 2 years earlier, her prayer granted, and swears two things. Ren will never become king, and she will never fall in love again. But the timeline in this life has changed. A dignitary gifted with dark magic is threatening her kingdom's peace, and Ren's thirst for power runs deeper than Mingxin could have imagined. She finds herself allying with Jie, another contender for the throne. Mingxin knows better than anyone not to give her heart to a prince, but in the viper's nest of the royal court, she and Jie prove a phenomenal team. Can Mingxin avert the catastrophe of her past by once again learning to trust and maybe even love? So that's all I'm going to be saying for A Bright Heart. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Love and Other Wicked Things, but that's it for right now, I think. I want to apologize for how laggy this clip looks. I think it's because of how I recorded it, because when I'm actually playing Minecraft, it's not this laggy. Like, I've grown and matured past the point of being so desperate as to play laggy Minecraft. Like, okay, let's talk about Boys I Know by Anna Gracia, which is another book, another arc I DNF'd. So the synopsis from Goodreads says, June Chu is the just good enough girl. Good enough to line the shelves with a slew of third place trophies and steal secret kisses from her AP bio partner Rice, but not good enough to meet literally any of her Taiwanese mother's unrelenting expectations or to get Rice to commit to anything beyond a well-timed joke. While June's mother insists she follow her perfect sister's footstep and get a full ride violin scholarship to Northwestern to study pre-med, June doesn't see the point in trying too hard if she's destined to fall short anyway. Instead, she focuses her effort on making her relationship with Rice official. But after her methodically planned, tipsily executed scheme explodes on the level of a nuclear disaster, she flings herself into a new relationship with a guy who's not allergic to the word girlfriend. But as the line between sex and love blurs, the pressure to map out her entire future threatens to burst. June will have to decide whose terms she's going to live her life, even if it means freeing her relationship with her mother beyond repair. So as I said, I didn't have this book. I was so pissed off my entire reading experience with this book. From the very first page, I didn't like June. I didn't like June. And then there was nothing. It's like with Tender Beats. June is so insufferable. She's so disgusting. She's like a graduate of Yamhead University, and there's nothing about the story that's pulling me along. And unlike Tender Beast, which is like a mystery, and I just didn't care about a mystery, Boys I Know is a contemporary. So it's literally just about June. So if I don't like June, what am I reading? Okay, so as I said, June is a graduate of a Yamhead University. She's like, so she always have a man. Every time she don't like the man anymore, and she break up with the man, she immediately have a crush on a new man, and she's doing everything she can to get with that next man. And she didn't need to be doing all of that. So with Rice, who's mentioned in the synopsis, he's like her secret hookup, study partner, whatever. I guess he's not interested in being with her officially. And then after she tries to like have sex with him while she's drunk and he's sober and he says no, she decides, and like he doesn't come to school the next day, she decides that he doesn't want to be with her anymore, and then she makes this whole thing about breaking up with him. And he's like, okay, cool. Then immediately, or like before she breaks up with him, when there was like an awkward phase, she meets this other guy who calls her China doll. There are many instances in this book before I DNF'd where June's ethnicity comes up and she does nothing to either explain to other people or to get back at racist people. Rice had this friend. He's white and he had white friends, and the white friend, when she would hang out with them, he would call her Laura Jean because she's Asian American and she looks nothing like Laura Jean. And her friend, June's friend, who is white, is telling the guy, oh, you can't say that, that's racist, whatever, whatever. And she's expecting June to say something, and then they have a conversation off in private, and June is like, oh, I don't have to defend Asian American people. I don't have to be the one to stand up against racist people every time. And like, fine. But then she goes and meets this other guy, and he's calling her China doll, and
she's not Chinese, she's Taiwanese, right? But he's calling her China doll, and then they start dating, and throughout the whole relationship, he calls her China doll. And because he's so cute and he's so into her, and he's not afraid to call her his girlfriend, she has no problem with this, which is why I said graduate from Yamahide University. But then when she wants to break up with him now, finally she has a problem with him calling her China doll. Finally, she's like, I'm not Chinese, right? And she never tells him this. She's just thinking it. So I'm the one reading it. Like, never once has she told this man where she's actually from. Like what's her actual ethnicity? He just assumed that she never corrected him, right? Which I'm not defending the man, but I'm not defending her either, right? And then she breaks up with him. And then she goes on this college visit for a college campus, and she meets a Chinese guy who is in the US just for university, for like a music college, right? And then he takes her out on a date, and he's like, oh, pick this college. And she's like, oh, when I come to this college, I'm gonna date him. How old is this man? Nobody ever discusses that. But like, she literally just broke up with the other man before she went to visit the campus, right? As I said, Yamed graduate. That was my biggest issue with her, because that was literally what the entire book was about. Her liking a man, breaking up with a man, immediately liking another man. That was my entire issue. Also, she was such a bitch to her mother. Like, she had issues with her mother because her mother expects her to be just like her older sister, perfect daughter, whatever, whatever. But like, her mother would just be doing things for her, and she would be so disgusting. Like, her mother washes and folds her clothes and puts it away for her, but she's upset because her mother is not for putting away the clothes in the organization system that June came up with. And she's in her head like, oh, her mother is so annoying. She doesn't even put the clothes away how I want her to put it away. And I'm like, right? But that was my whole issue with the book. I couldn't get past June's character, and that's it. I didn't give a fuck. That's it.